Hello everyone. So, I just returned from seeing Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, you're probably wondering why am I not doing a review in my particular written style? Well, I wanted to do something special for Star Wars. As Star Wars The Force Awakens is pretty much set to be possibly the highest grossing film ever made, plus the fact that it's probably the most anticipated film to ever be spawned in existence, I felt I needed to do something a little more special. Now, this is entirely unscripted. I only just came back from seeing this movie like a half hour ago. I gave time to myself to try and reflect and see how I could actually put what I thought about the film into words. Because I have a lot to talk about here. I'm going to take as long as I want. And I'm just going to tell you right now. Now, the best way to describe Star Wars The Force Awakens is with a question. How does it feel to go into a film that you're extremely excited for, that you had extremely high expectations for, and then when you walked out, not only did it meet those expectations, but they even exceeded them? Yes, Star Wars The Force Awakens is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And it's by far one of the best films to come out in 2015. It's a great way to end off 2015, which is, in my opinion, been an absolutely brilliant year for film. And I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the best Star Wars films that has ever been released. It even rivals the amazingness of the original trilogy made by George Lucas with A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Now, the way that I can process my thoughts is actually going into the story. Now, the story of this film, I'm going to be extremely vague with this. I'm not really going to tell you much about the story as a whole because this is, in my opinion, a story that you really need to check out for yourself. But if I'm going to be extremely vague about what the story is going to be about, it introduces a lot of new characters into the Star Wars universe. It brings back a lot of the old, including characters like Leia, Han Solo, Leia and Han Solo. And they all have to team up to actually defeat this new person who's joined the dark side, who's named Kylo Ren. He was a part of something called the First Order, which is the successor to the Galactic Empire, which was destroyed in Return of the Jedi. And I want to just say this right off the bat, Kylo Ren is an absolutely brilliant villain. He's up to the quality of Darth Vader, and the reason why he's such a great villain is because you know what he wants to do. Even if you don't really agree with what he's trying to do, you can see why he's who he is, and you can see why he wants to succeed in the goal that he wants to achieve. I'm not going to say anything else about him, because this character deserves to be seen, to be believed. And I'm going to say that about a lot of the new characters as well, especially the new one, Rey, who's played by Daisy Ridley. She's a scavenger on the planet Jakku, and she is a very great character. She's a very motivational character. She's very free-spirited, very brave, very adventurous, and she looks very great for a female character. In a world like in the original Star Wars, even if you did like characters like Princess Leia, you could definitely tell that she was kind of a damsel for characters like Han Solo and Luke. And Rey is a very strong character, and she really does make women look good. I would date her in real life if I'm being perfectly honest. She's just brave, free-spirited, extremely likeable, and that's all I can really say about her. I could say the same for Finn, who if you've seen the trailer, started out as a stormtrooper, and he's left for reasons which I'm not going to spoil, but Finn is also a pretty solid character. He's also very free-spirited, actually. He also has a goal, he also has a purpose, he wants to kind of reinvent himself, he doesn't really know what he wants to do. He was brought up to be a stormtrooper from the very get-go, so he doesn't really know how to live his life. And it's great to actually experience a Star Wars movie when you can actually enjoy it with new characters. As much as you love characters like Leia and Han Solo, which I'm going to get to in a second, it's great to see a Star Wars film that really does cherish its characters, and we get to go along the ride with them. We're just as blind about these characters as the characters are about themselves, and it feels like a very spiritual journey. Now, what can I say about Harrison Ford as Han Solo? Han Solo, we all knew that he was going to be in it, but when he was revealed in that second teaser, we absolutely had our minds blown, and it feels, even when Han Solo is introduced in this film, there's just a huge sense of satisfaction. He's just as great as a character that he's been since the very beginning. I always loved Han Solo. He's always been one of my favourite characters in the entire Star Wars universe, as well as it has been for many others. It's great to see a character like him again. I really love his charisma. He's generally funny, and that's another thing I want to say about The Force Awakens. It's generally very funny. Like, it's not funny to the point where it'd be classified as a comedy, but I'm very happy to see a lot of, like, action movies, including stuff like Avengers, Age of Ultron, where you actually see quite a lot of light-hearted banter and a lot of pretty generally funny humour. It really does take a lot of the seriousness away from a story which seems so serious to the point where it becomes boring. This movie finds a good balance between the seriousness and the light-hearted humour, and it makes an overall extremely exhilarating experience. And I also want to bring up Princess Leia as well. Princess Leia has actually changed a lot since the original trilogy. She's not the same princess that she once was. She's now a general who's leading this new thing called the Renaissance, I think it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's great to see that she's become a much more strong character, because as much as I love Princess Leia, like I said before, one of the problems I have with her is that she felt too much like a damsel. She's so much more stronger here, and I'm very happy that she's in this sort of film. And the music. Good God, the music. The music in Star Wars movies are absolutely revolutionary, and it's so good to see a Star Wars movie with John Williams music again. Oh my God, the music's so breathtaking. Right when the film opens with "A Long Time Ago in a Galaxy Far, Far Away," and you hear that amazing Star Wars theme, you feel such a huge sense of satisfaction. You feel as if you returned to what was once your true childhood. And I am extremely happy to say that John Williams' soundtrack is fantastic, presenting so many old themes that have been recreated to sound new and genuine, but also bringing some new tracks into the mix, which fit very well into a lot of the scenes in this film. You can tell that there's been a lot of effort put into here, and I'm glad that John Williams stuck to what he did best for the Star Wars universe. And I also want to give credit to J.J. Abrams as the director. As much as I love George Lucas, I really don't think he should be making Star Wars movies anymore. It should be going to J.J. Abrams. I've never been a huge fan of J.J. I can see why he has like a huge fan base with his shows like Lost and his directorial films with Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. But I felt there was always something in his films that really prevented him from being a truly great and truly revolutionary director. This movie is gonna give J.J. Abrams a lot more projects to work with, and it's gonna put him on the map. He's always been told, it's been treated, the cast in such a great way. He has such an eye for what makes a good Star Wars film. As he's a noted Star Wars fan, you could definitely tell that from the very beginning, he wanted to please the fans. He knew that he had a huge task. He had to please fans, he had to please critics, he had to please audiences, and he nailed it out of the park. He's a great director. He really does have an eye for cinematography. A lot of the shots in this film are brilliant. There are a lot of very brilliant wide shots. Every single shot in this film feels as if it has a purpose, and I'm very happy to say that. I always like how he has an eye for cinematography. To conclude, what do I think of Star Wars: The Force Awakens? I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. I have never seen a film where I had such a huge smile on my face since Inside Out. It is genuinely funny, it's genuinely action-packed, it has a very great heart to it. You can tell that it's been created by people who love the Star Wars universe and want to expand upon it. If you love movies, if you love Star Wars, if you love to be entertained, you need to see this. This is an absolute must-watch for anyone, and is the absolute must-watch film to watch this Christmas. This movie is the reason why Christmas will be such a memorable one this year. If you haven't seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens, do yourself a favour and go watch it. I had absolutely lots of fun with it. I just felt a huge satisfaction. This might be one of the best Star Wars, if not the best Star Wars movie that's ever been created. After we saw like the prequel Star Wars movies and how much they disappointed us, I could definitely tell a lot of people were going to this hoping that this wouldn't be a Phantom Menace all over again. But it didn't. It was just being down to earth with what it is. It's Star Wars, and and it couldn't be done any other way. See you guys later.